joining us. Welcome to the 8th Universities Fighting World Hunger Summit. Welcome to Kansas. My name is Matt Lindsay. I'm the chair of the host committee for this event, also the president of the Kansas Independent College Association. I mentioned that last part of the title because for the first time, this summit is being hosted not by a single institution, but by a consortium of the entire system of higher education within the state. We're trying something new here. We are happy to bring everyone together. Private colleges, public colleges, folks from community colleges of 4 years, folks from outside higher ed to talk about how we can address hunger. I want to quickly talk about this welcome we have to you welcome to Kansas. I know you all felt maybe when you flew in that you were flying into Kansas City, Missouri. Well, you've driven across the state line. Kansas is hosting this. We are excited to have you in our great state. And I think it's important that we're here in Kansas because throughout our state's more than 150 years of history, we've been serious about several things. One of them is food. We're not called the wheat state for nothing. This is a place that we pride ourselves on helping to feed the world, being the breadbasket for the world. So thinking about how Kansans can participate in addressing hunger has been a point of conversation for us for a number of years. It's also a place where Kansans care a lot about helping others. Even to the point of, let's say, radicalism. Those of you familiar with our state's history, this is a place where abolition of slavery led to some heated exchanges. This is a place where the progressive era was fomented. This is a place where, despite that sort of radicalism, pragmatism is reigned. This is a state where it makes a whole lot of sense that when George McGovern was looking for allies on how to address hunger around the world, he found our own Senator Bob Dole who was willing to look for real world solutions to problems like hunger. So I think Kansas is a great place to bring you all here for this summit. Before I get into our introductions here, I want to make sure I say a few thank yous. First, I want to say thank you to our sponsors. We have a number of great sponsors who've contributed to this event and helped make it happen. Thank you to the Kansas Farm Journal Foundation, to Kroger and Dillon's. I want to say thank you to Sodexo, Elanco, and Tyson's, the Wichita Community Foundation, the Kansas Farm Bureau, the Missouri Farm Bureau, Kansas Department of Agriculture. Also GTM, you'll notice our volunteers wearing these great red t-shirts that help you find your way. We should say thank you to GTM Sports as well. We also, I mentioned this is a consortium event. All the system of higher education contributed here. But a number of institutions in Kansas stepped up to help us even more. So that we owe thanks to Ottawa University, the University of St. Mary, and McPherson College, to Butler Community College, Johnson County Community College, as well as Fort Hays State, Wichita State, University of Kansas, and Washburn University. And especially, I want to say thank you to Kansas State University, because though we are not one institution hosting this, Kansas State University has contributed enormous manpower and financial resources to help make this summit a success. So let's say thank you to all of those sponsors. One last round of thank yous. I want to, and these folks I'd like to have stand up to receive this. Thank you. We have a host committee who worked for over a year now to make this event happen. These folks have worked very hard to make this event a success for you all. I'm just going to list these folks and they'll all stand up and we'll applaud at the end if that's all right. Jackie Bietti, formerly of Butler Community College. Doug Penner, formerly of Kansas Independent College Association. April Mason, provost at Kansas State University. Rick McNary, now with Outreach. Deborah Ballard-Reich at Wichita State. Karen Siebert at Harvesters. Trish Gott at Kansas State. Sandra Marlatt at Ottawa University. Josh Mosier from Kansas Campus Compact. Jolynn Burke from Stop Hunger Now. Let's say thank you to all of these folks. You notice the theme here is raising the volume. Why are we here? What do we want to raise the volume? volume about? We want to raise the volume about how do we address and solve hunger in the world. And what does raising the volume mean? There's a couple of things that it raises for me. One is you need to be getting everyone excited, but it has to be purposeful. This is raising the volume to do something. So we need to be pragmatic, just like Senators McGovern and Dole were, but we need to be purposeful. It also means when you raise the volume, there are echoes. People hear this over and over and over again. We need to be thinking long-term and sustainable. We want to raise echoes with our volume so that this effort echoes in the halls of government, in the media, throughout society, that we need to do something about hunger. And also, raising is an important word here, because it's about lifting everyone up. It's very important to think of this in terms of bringing everyone with us on this journey. If you want to help address hunger, we need to bring that person into our work. Whether it's from a walk of life that you're not familiar with, whether it's from the public sector, the private sector, from a faith-oriented group, from a secular group. If you want to address hunger, this is the place to do it. Let's have a dialogue and a conversation to make that happen. So is everybody ready to start this off? Did I not say we need to raise the volume? Come on, raise the volume. With that in mind, it's my honor to introduce and welcome Lieutenant Governor Dr. Jeff Colyer, Lieutenant Governor of the state of Kansas, to welcome you to Kansas as well. Please join me.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I want to thank you on behalf of Governor Brownback and myself for joining us this morning here in Kansas. This is a very important day that we have here. And I want to see the energy come from this, and I want to see solutions, and I want to bump into you 10 or 15 years from now and see what you did. And I want you to just grab me sometime. We'll bump into, the world is a very, very small place, and all of us are going to bump into each other sometime in our lifetimes. Remember what today is, and then go and think about what did you do with it. And let's share each other what we did with the volume that each of us had. I want to show you a proclamation from the governor that is welcoming everyone here. We have people from several countries, nearly every state in the union and every county in Kansas, and we appreciate all that you're doing because this is a very, very important issue, and one that has changed over time, and one that was something that's very personal to me. I was the only surgeon in southern Rwanda during the genocide. People would come up to me and they'd say, "Where are you from?" And I'd say, "Well, I'm from Kansas." And they'd go, "That's where the wheat comes from." Wow. But then they would say, "Thank you for coming and helping us help ourselves," is what they were telling us. I had a very interesting career that doesn't lead to being lieutenant governor, but led in a little different direction. I'm a surgeon. But I got very interested in international affairs. And I ended up as a White House fellow in 1988, working and dealing with disasters. And what I learned about that is when I first started out and I was your age, I was thinking, wow, people are starving, let's get a bunch of Kansas wheat, put it on a ship, you ship it to the place, give it to them, people are fed, and end of the problem. Well, that was just the beginning of the problem, because what we have now done is we've now wiped out the agricultural sector because of the economics that were going on there. And in the mid-1980s, there was an Indian-American economist named Amartya Sen. And what he did is he looked around and he looked at famines and food insecurity. And what it is it's actually an economic phenomenon that happens. In reality, in most famines in the world, there's actually enough food in the region. The problem is the ability of individuals to access that and to get the cash to deal with it. And so, how do you think about this as an integrated system? And this is why I'm so excited about having you here, and why I want to hear about your solutions later on, is because your generation interacts collaboratively much more than my generation did. We're learning that, but you are really putting the teeth in being interconnected. And I believe that that interconnectedness is the key to solving world hunger. And that you guys are really an answer for doing that. I want to tell you about a person. He was a friend of mine, and his name was Fred Cooney. And Fred Cooney, there's a book written about him, and I would truly advise you to read this book. The name of the book was The Man Who Tried to Save the World. And what Fred did is Fred dedicated his life to finding solutions for this. And he would go where nobody else would. I was with him in a number of different war zones over the years. And he was in Chechnya, and he was captured and executed. And we've never found his body. And he is the first person to win a MacArthur Fellowship posthumously. Very interesting guy. Now, let me tell you what Fred did. Fred looked at how do people cope with these